Hi, Alice here.
Blue or white? Butterflies love it. Plumbago, a Florida-friendly, non-native shrub. I rate it a best choice shrub, and here's why. If you want butterflies flying around in your garden, blue plumbago or white plumbago is a great choice. I see a sulfur butterfly and a Gulf literary on the blue plumbago and a skipper. I wanted to try to catch that. I so enjoy having plants in my garden that are loved by butterflies. I did do another video on attracting butterflies to your garden, and truly, this blue plumbago is a big winner when it comes to butterfly attraction. It's late afternoon in the circle garden, and the blue plumbago still has a little bit of light on it. During the rest of the day, it's in full sun. This is a lovely non-native plant, origin South Africa, and that's how it gets a common name of Cape plumbago. It also is called sky flower. I think that's because of these lovely clusters of sky blue flowers. It has a lovely mounding shape. This plant is maybe 2 feet tall, and it was just put in as a transplant. So this has been one season worth of growth. At maturity, it can be as high as 6 to 10 feet and as wide as 8 feet. I'm using this as a foundation plant for this area of the circle garden. This plant likes full sun. Think South Africa and hot. So it does really well in warmer climates, and it is evergreen in some of the warmer zones. It'll bloom from spring until first frost, and then there's dieback in the winter if it has a freeze. Soil requirements, very flexible. Clay, sand, loam. Even nutritionally deficient soils, this plant will thrive. It likes pH of slightly acidic to slightly alkaline. So that would be in the range of like 6.2 to 7.2 or 7.3. Gardening tip. If you have a high alkalinity in your soil, this plant will not thrive. You can add soil amendments, but you need to know what your soil's pH is. If you haven't done a soil test and you want to plant this plant, get a soil test done, contact your local cooperative extension, and they can help you. Fill out the forms and take your soil sample. What happens in high alkalinity soils is that the roots are unable to absorb nutrients in the soil. So you get growth failure and you can have yellowing of the leaves. Know what kind of soil you have and match your plant to your soil conditions. Watering requirements for the blue plumbago and the white plumbago are similar. It likes moderate to dry conditions. As you're getting it established, however, be sure to water regularly, and by that it would be several times a week until the root system is well established. It has shallow roots, so you need to be sure that you're watering appropriately in the beginning. Once your root system is established, and that can take a month or two or so, then you can just have occasional watering. During times of extreme drought, you want to be sure to water at least once a week. Gardening tip: do not do well in wet or soggy areas. So make sure that you plant this in well-drained soil. A low-maintenance plant, my kind of plant. It is deer resistant. That's fantastic. It has few pests, and occasionally you might get some leaf curl from thrips, which can be handled with insecticidal soap, and it doesn't damage the plant. The important thing is to allow enough space so that the plant can spread and grow to its mature size. It has a mounding, sprawling kind of habit, so you want to be sure there's plenty of room and good air circulation. You don't need to deadhead the blooms. It's a continuous blooming plant. It takes care of itself. It just keeps producing buds and then flowers. The flowers in clusters looking sort of like phlox. You don't need to shape or trim this plant. And if you do, what you will sacrifice is the ongoing blooms, because the blooms come out as the thin stems of the plant grow. So just let the plant have a spot where it can grow, and you can enjoy the flowers continuously throughout the spring, summer, and fall. For those of us who live in slightly cooler zones, North Florida on up to zone 7, because of the shallow roots of the plant, when wintertime is approaching, you want to be sure that you do a good thick mulch around the plant. Not up to the stem, but a couple of inches out, and this will protect the roots from freezing. In the summertime, it's also good to mulch because it helps retain moisture and it helps with weed management. Gardening tip for container gardening: if you're going to use a container for growing your plumbago plants, get one large enough. In a container, they will not grow quite as large as they would in the soil. The blue plumbago's normal growth is 6 to 10 high by 6 to 8 wide. In a container, it will grow maybe 4 feet high instead of 6 to 10, maybe 4 feet, maybe 6 feet wide. Get a container that will be big enough and that can manage the shallow root system. Use neutral potting soil and be sure to fertilize regularly. It's okay to also put a layer of mulch when you get your plant established in the container. That helps with moisture control. Containers, especially in the full sun, which this plant needs, can easily dry out if it's both hot and windy. I've talked about the blue plumbago. What about the white plumbago? Same species, but a different variation. If you see on the botanical name an F abbreviation, an F period, that means forma, and that's a word meaning variation in a species. So maybe a species would have smooth leaves and one variation would have kind of hairy leaves. That would be same plant, but one with hairy leaves, one with smooth leaves. In this case, on the plant card is the word alba, and alba means white. So the plumbago's slight variation is white flowers. Same species, white flowers. It has the same sun requirements, full sun, It has the same flowering aspect, which is spring, summer, and fall. Continuous blooms. Same type of bloom. The clusters of the white flowers look identical to the clusters of the blue flowers. Only difference is the color. There is a slight difference in size according to the plant card. The white plumbago is a little smaller in height. Hopefully, we'll see lots of butterflies on the white plumbago that's in my circle garden. As the white plumbago gets bigger next year, I'm hoping that it will have the same butterfly attraction that the blue has. Let's talk garden design in your landscaping. There are 4 possibilities for the use of this plant in your garden. First, if you have a butterfly or pollinator garden and you have the room to let the plant spread 6 to 8 feet, then it's a good addition because you'll have butterflies. You'll be attracting butterflies and they'll be flying through for the whole growing season that you have, whether it's year-round in the warmer zones or spring, summer, and fall in the cooler zones. Second, as a foundation shrub, and that's how I'm using it in my circle garden. And I have 2 of them planted, 2 blue planted and 2 white in various places in the garden. And I'm looking forward to them filling in and being a foundation in that garden area. Third option is in mass plantings. They are spectacular looking along a driveway, along a walkway, or along a fence line. An example of plants just along the side of a sidewalk. Remember that in cooler zones, you'll have dieback, so you'll have leaf drop, but the plant will come back in the spring and then bloom spring, summer, and fall. And of course, in the warmer zones, you'll have the evergreen for the whole year. The final 4th possibility is as a specimen plant. And close to your house or in your yard where it's a feature, it can be a showstopper as people drive by or walk by your home. And as you sit out on your patio or on your porch, you can enjoy the beauty of these flowers, the continuous bloom, and watching the butterflies dancing all around. Plumbago plant, whether you choose white or blue or both, is another best choice shrub for your garden. Easy care, low maintenance. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up, greatly appreciated, and it makes a big difference. Comment below. Love to hear if you have information to share. If you want to watch additional videos, check these out. Subscribe. Garden Yay! See you in the next video.